I think there's some validity to Scottie not gonna get his career Grand Slams. He's having a Bryson year, dude. Like, he's not doing well at all.
That is crazy. All right, guys, the first part of this podcast will be done outside in the heat of Arizona because my son needs to go down for a nap. But Bud Cauley, man, 239 starts, gets his first PGA Tour win at the RBC Canadian, man. He's been through a lot, man. Obviously, we know about the car accident that happened at the Memorial. Maybe some of you guys don't know. We will get into that. And Gina Kim, my good friend Gina Kim, Golf and Gospel alum, gets her first LPGA win after losing her card, getting it back, winning the Dow Championship along with Yana Wilson, man. And this week, guys, we got another major week, man. Golf has been fun lately. I mean, we had the Women's U.S. Open last week with the Memorial. Dow Championship was fun this week. The RBC Canadian was fun this week. And now we get to talk about the Men's U.S. Open at Shinnecock. Man, we're locked in, man. But again, if you're returning, super grateful you came back. But if you're new here, just let y'all know, we're better than Nightcap. Yeah, we better than Shannon Sharp, Chad Johnson, and Joe Johnson. We better than Bob Does Sport Podcast. You know all those three guys. We're better than Colin Coward. We're better than, Dan Rappaport. I know Dan's a dog in the golf, but we're better than him. We're better than Colin Coward. Whatever others golf analysts, podcasters you want to think of, we're better than that. And some of you guys are saying, who the heck is we? I'll explain later. But my name is Jeremy Davis. I'm a former NFL player and host of the best YouTube golf show, Golf and Gospel. Check out all that stuff on golfandgospel.com. And my co-host, who will be showing up later, is my dog, the best PT in all the Southwest, former Nebraska Cornhusker golfer, Nate Wong. So, again, just reminding you guys, man, if you like Golf and Gospel, continue to tap in with us, man. We're on all podcast platforms now. We're available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, whatever you like to listen to your podcast. And be sure to download, subscribe, and stay connected with us. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to share it with someone, man, because a lot of y'all been enjoying. I don't know if y'all sharing, man. Y'all should be sharing with people, man, for real. And I will say this, if you don't like something, we're the only podcast that love to take critique. As a former professional athlete, I like being coached. Tell me if my voice sounds dumb. Tell me if the facts that I'm talking about don't make any sense. And tell me if Nate sounds weird. Whatever you want, let us know and we will get better. Now, if it's something that's unreasonable, we'll probably debate you in the comments. But we like critique and we want to get better. So please continue to lock in with us. But let's get into it, man. The RBC Canadian Open, the winner, Bud Cauley, man, the Alabama alum, does great, takes it at TPC Toronto, and becomes the fifth first-time winner on the PGA Tour, joining Christopher Ritten, Jacob Bridgman, Alex Fitzpatrick, Ricky Castillo, which is a good group of names right there, man. And with Bud Cauley winning, gets 500 FedEx Cup points, move up to 28th in the FedEx Cup standings, and he is 238 starts without a win on the PGA Tour entering this week, which was the fifth longest active streak since 1983, bro. But he finally ends that streak, man, so congrats again to Bud Cauley. But this is the thing, man. If you guys don't know Bud Cauley's story, it's a very interesting one. In June 2018, Bud Cauley was involved in a serious car accident in Dublin, Ohio during the Memorial Championship, which we know the Memorial is a very huge signature event. 5 broken ribs, a broken left leg, a collapsed lung, and this man was fighting for his life. He ended up spending 3 years away from the PGA Tour. He finally got back in 2024 at the Phoenix Open, which I remember watching him playing in the 2024 Phoenix Open, kind of like my first time really going to a golf tournament. And he wasn't handed anything. He gets 27 tournaments on a medical extension to earn enough FedEx Cup points to keep his card. So obviously every start, every cut, every round matters for this guy. And in 2026 at Toronto, this man locked in. Shot 69, 63, 66, and 65 and walked away as the winner. He's having an incredible season, too. That's being overlooked. I mean, he's 13 of 15 in cuts made in events this year. So he's been playing some really good golf, but finally solidifies himself as a name, as a PGA Tour winner, which we're hoping to see and hear more of Bud Cauley throughout the rest of the season. And let's get ready to see him in the U.S. Open. I believe he already qualified through the 36 holes and stuff like that, but something he won't have to worry about again next year. But it's just super amazing to see what he's done, man. I mean, this isn't just simply a golf story, man. He just definitely proved what it's like to be resilient, to stay persistent and see the fruits of your hard work come to life. And I feel like a lot of times, including myself, man, we sow so much and we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. We think, is it ever going to come? Like, or did I already surpass my fruits? Or was this the ceiling? Did I already hit my ceiling? And Bud Cauley might have been thinking about that. But in his 239th start, finally gets a victory, man. So that just tells everybody, keep on sowing, keep on fighting, keep on grinding. We'll see the fruits of our reward at some point. But I also want to give some love to Jimmy Stagger because he's in a similar situation like Bud Cauley right now. He got his PGA Tour card through Korn Ferry Score, I believe, in 2024. Had to undergo elbow surgery. I think he was dealing with some tendonitis or something like that. Was granted a major medical extension as well for 2026. 12 guaranteed starts to earn points. He needs to keep his card. He just finished T4 today, so shout out to Jimmy Stagger. So 2 different guys, 2 different injuries, same fight to stay on tour. These guys are really working hard because I'm sure they are grateful for the medical exemption, but it's like, man, I want to earn my way. And these guys are definitely earning their way, man. Victor Hovland, definitely want to give him some praise. Show some promise today. Couldn't close, though, which has kind of been a sore spot for Victor Hovland ever since 2023. Even when he won the Valspar last year against Justin Thomas, he didn't close well. Justin Thomas just didn't do well, and it was kind of easy for Victor Hovland to get a win. But pretty good turnout, and I think around this time last year, he got a little hot, started to finish at the top of the leaderboards, and finished really well at the U.S. Open in the same group as J.J. Spahn, which, me and Nate will talk about that later when we break down the U.S. Open. And Matt Fitzpatrick continues to build towards his impressive PGA Tour season, getting a solo second here. He needs to fix that putting, though, which, again, we will talk about that when we break down the U.S. Open. But that's your RBC Canadian Open breakdown. Let's keep it moving, man. Going over to the LPGA, man, the Dow Championships, man. Gina Kim, Yana Wilson become the first-time LPGA Tour winners at the Dow Championship. The difference maker, I believe, and I'm a little biased. Gina Kim is my homie. They were showing a lot of Yana Wilson, which I get. She's only 19. But Gina Kim, man, with the eagle on the par 4, 5th hole, really took it off for them, man, where they just started to really gain momentum and separate themselves against the rest of the field. I love how Gina cited their relationship on the Epson Tour as a key reason she chose Wilson as her partner. They played together in the final pairing group so many times. They just kind of continued to learn their game. And Gina said, man, I know that Yana Wilson can game under pressure. And you got to understand, last year Gina Kim won 3 times on the Epson Tour, and I believe Yana Wilson won 2 times. So they faced each other a lot, and they got to see how each other played, and we like to see that it showed fruits at the Dow Championship. And the other good news for them is that they will be reshuffled as LPGA Tour winners under the priority list, which gets them into the majors next year. So in words of the homie Gina Kim, no more 36 holes, at least for a good little while, man. So again, shout out to them. And if you guys don't think this win's impressive, let me tell you some of the names they beat. They beat H.J. Choi and Hoju Kim, who's the number 3 golfer in the world. They beat Allison Lee and Lee LaVue, and we know how Allison Lee did last week at the U.S. Open, making her name. Lee LaVue has a history of being a really dog of a golfer. The Alway twins, who are really good, they beat the Alway twins. They beat the Sweden couple with Lynn Grant and Maya Starks. They beat Celine Botti, who just won the ShopRite about 2 weeks ago. They beat the Hall of Famer Julian Inkster and the up-and-comer who's really talented, Angel Yin. And they beat Olivia Cowan and world number 1 Nelly Korda. So this was no lackluster field. Don't say, no one really played. I know we want to compare it to the Zurich because it's a team event, but this field has some talented golfers in there, and they came out victorious. So again, shout out to Gina Kim, Yana Wilson, and my dog on the bag of Gina Kim, my boy Bruce Quicker, who's also a Golf and Gospel alum, man. So what a great opportunity to see them get a victory. And again, Yana Wilson, first 19-year-old to win on the LPGA Tour since the 2023 Portland Classic, when Shanette Wanason, hope I'm saying that correctly, I probably didn't, I probably butchered that, but show some grace. But she's the first time to win 19-year-old since 2023 Portland Classic, man. But the LPGA has been great this year. Obviously, Nelly winning has been amazing for the tour because I think it gets more eyes, and it's really easy to advertise Nelly Korda and what she's doing. Obviously, a dog of a golfer, a great face for the game. But with this attention that's coming towards the LPGA Tour, I don't want us to be so fixated only on Nelly. There's a lot of other, dog tour players on the LPGA Tour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you their counterpart male tour pro that matches these LPGA Tour pros so you can understand, who else is on this tour. So, again, I'm saying this because I don't want us to be so fixated on Nelly. Nelly's doing great. It's great that she's doing this. It's bringing so many eyes to the LPGA Tour. But I want you to start to learn some other LPGA Tour players as well, and I'm going to give you a comparison to who they are on the PGA Tour. So, for example, if I say Nelly Korda, her counterpart is obviously Scottie Scheffler. Both world number 1, both have multiple majors, and they're the face of the PGA and the LPGA. So that's your example. So first off, I'm starting off with Charlie Hull. Who's her counterpart? It's Tommy Fleetwood. Two of the most popular and recognizable players and respective to their tours. Yet both have found more consistent success on the DP World Tour and the latest European Tour than the PGA and the LPGA. Tommy has 8 career DP World Tour wins, and Charlie has 5 on LET, and both have won Player of the Year in their respective European tours. Their games do translate to the American tours, just not as often in the winner's circle as their popularity might suggest, which is what my take was last week or 2 weeks ago in regards to Charlie Hull. What they do show up is for big moments. Both players are consistently finding themselves inside the top 6 in majors and have delivered clutch performances in the Ryder Cup as well as the Solheim Cup. But the missing piece for both of them, they haven't won a major. So with all the notoriety and the attention they get, you would have this implication like, man, they probably got this many wins, this many majors. Both lacking in that category. Again, Charlie only has 3, Tommy only has 1. Really good players, but need to see more out of them. So you can start focusing on Charlie Hull. Her counterpart is Tommy Fleetwood. Next, I got Hannah Green. Some of you might like this, some of you might not. But, man, I'm going with Russell Henley, man. Two of the most underrated and underappreciated players in the game right now. Hannah Green has 8 career LPGA Tour wins and a major championship. I believe she had one in 2019, the KPMG, if I stand correctly. Russell Henley has 6 PGA Tour wins and currently ranked 5th in the world. Hannah sits right behind her at 6th in the Rolex World Rankings for women. Neither one of them gets the recognition they deserve, but if you watch closely, every time a major leaderboard tightens up at the weekend, these two are right there to show that I can be in the top 10 and top 5. We'll go back to the Chevron Championship. Hannah Green finished T7 after getting an impressive win at the JM Eagle. Now, granted, she didn't do as well at the U.S. Open, fighting a 2-way miss. Still made the cut. I believe finished like T28 or something like that, which is solid. But she's a really good player and really not talked about enough as the number 6 player in the world. Russell Henley took down Eric Cole. Did amazing in that win. Number 5 player in the world. Unfortunately, not talked about enough. He was on the Ryder Cup team. Of course, a lot of us are kind of mad at him for shorting that putt, which was no easy putt, the Ryder Cup. But Russell Henley is a dog of a player, man. So that is Hannah Green's counterpart. Next person I got is Lydia Ko. Who is her counterpart? I like Rory McIlroy. Both are Hall of Famers without question. Lydia finds herself in a similar situation that Rory was a year ago. 1 win away from the career Grand Slam. Now, she has 23 LPGA wins. Rory has 30 PGA Tour wins. Their legacies are secure, but the Grand Slam completion is what separates good from the all-time greats. Now, Lydia Ko is still great, but I believe there are only 7 career Grand Slam winners on the LPGA, I believe, and she's still working to be a part of that and be number 8. I believe she needs, obviously, there are 5 majors on the LPGA Tour. You know, solidifying just one of them definitely gets her in there. Didn't look too well at the U.S. Open for her. I think she also did make the cut at the Chevron, so her game's been a little sporadic. I mean, obviously, she shot 59 at the Ford Championship, which, again, the LPGA missed, which is very disappointing. I hope they don't make that mistake again. But, you know, she's close. She's close in regards to the totality of her career. Hopefully her game starts to trend. I believe the KPMG will obviously be the next major. Hopefully she can snag one of those. But then again, I got to check her resume. I'm not sure if she already has one of those. But she is close to getting a career Grand Slam and obviously trying to accomplish what Roy did last year. Next, we got Yeoju Kim and Hideki Matsuyama. Quiet, methodical, elite iron players. Both have won 1 major on their name. Hoju won the Evian in 2014. Hideki won the Masters in 2021. They can be streaky, but when they're locked in, they're nearly impossible to beat. Look at Hideki Matsuyama in 2025 Sony Open. Man shot one of the lowest course records ever at the Sony Open. And then look at him with the Phoenix Open. Was playing flat out amazing. You're like, man, Hideki, when he's on, he's on. Unfortunately, he lost to Chris Gardner up in the playoff, but this guy can play some golf. Similar to Hoju Kim. She played amazing at the Founders. Played amazing at the Ford. But then she can get a little streaky. Didn't play too well at Shadow Creek. Didn't do too well at the U.S. Open. But again, when she's locked in, like she was at the Dow Championship this week, she can find herself getting to second place. So I think that's a good counterpart to Yeoju Kim and Hideki Matsuyama. Next, I got Ryu Ying and Colin Morikawa. Both won majors early and in a hurry. Colin joined the PGA Tour in 2019 and won the PGA Championship in 2020. Ryu Ying joined the LPGA in 2022 and won the Women's PGA Championship in 2023. Beyond the timeline parallel, both are incredibly steady ball strikers who let their games do the talking. Colin Morikawa is leading the field with strokes game approach, so his irons have been locked in. Ru Yang ranked 6th in strokes gained total. Colin 6th at 13th. So both quietly, but they're also elite, man. So Ru Yang, I think currently right now, she's for sure top 6 in both the Rolex and the CME. Not sure what specific position, but she's been a dog of a golfer on the LPGA. Hopefully she can get a win this year as well. Next, we got Rose Zhang, who was part of the Beyond the Scorecard event, coming on Golf and Gospel and talking about her faith. Her counterpart is Tom Kim, and here's why. Instant impact. Tom Kim won twice before turning 21. Rose Zhang won in her pro debut in 2023 at the Cosmic Founders Cup. Both arrived as the most hyped young players in their respective tours and actually lived up to it immediately, which almost never happens. I mean, we think about Tiger Woods, he won his 5th tournament, but a lot of times we don't see that immediate impact like that. And you do got some outlier guys like Nick Dunlap win the American Express, but it's a rarity. The one storyline that hangs over both of them is the major. All that talent, all that early success, and yet a major has remained elusive for both. That's the question golf fans are waiting for and see answered. Now, on behalf of Rose Zhang, battled some injury with juggling school and so on and stuff. So I'm very excited to see what she does outside of school, as well as being healed from an injury, as far as I know. Because a lot of times players have certain injury and stuff that just not obviously displayed to the world, and they could just be fighting something. But I really think Rose Zhang can get one in the future, man. Next we got is Lottie Woe and Ludvig Åberg. Both have arrived with elite amateur credentials and backed it up immediately as pros. Åberg was a best college golfer in America at the time at Texas Tech, and Woe won the Augusta National Women's Open in 2024 out of Florida State. Ludvig has 3 wins on tour. Lottie has 2. Lottie haven't won recently, and both have major contention experience already. They've been in the mix, but neither has hoisted the trophy yet. It's coming. The question is just when. Obviously, I think after Lottie got her first win at that next major, which I believe was the AIG Women's Open, played very well. I think she finished T7. And we've seen Ludvig Åberg be in contention many a times. He just always falls off in that stretch between 16 and 18. I mean, we go back to the Masters. Had that terrible, I believe, either triple bogey or quad when he was in 2nd, dropped him down to 7th. He just has to close better, man. But they both have the talent and the skill set to win a major. But like I said, the question is, when? Next, I got Gino Titickel and Xander Schauffele. Now I get it. Xander was never #1 golfer, but hear me out. Before Xander started winning majors, which was in 2024, he had turned pro in 2015 and accumulated 7 tour wins, including a tour championship in 2017, and was widely considered one of the best players in the world without a major. Scottie was not on tour yet. 2017, Scottie didn't get on until 2019. Sounds familiar? It sounds like Gino Titickel. She's followed the same script. Multiple LPGA wins, 2 tour championships, yet no majors. And Xander eventually see that he broke through with 2 majors in a single year in 2024, winning the PGA Championship, taking down Bryson Dechambeau, and then winning the Open, which was very impressive. He was up for Player of the Year. I had a good argument why he maybe could have gotten it over Scottie, but obviously Scottie ended up winning Golf of the Year. But the golf world is waiting for Gino's version of that moment. And for a bonus, they're both Callaway players. But Gino, man, was really close to the Evian. You've heard me and Nate talk about this. You heard the homie M. Metallic come here and talk about this. The way Grace Kelly was playing, man, she could have beat Tiger Woods that day. But Gino, we're waiting for her to get a victory. Was once world #1, lost it to, obviously, current world #1 Nelly Korda. But we're still waiting for some major victories for her, and we'll see if that comes soon. Next, you guys might find this a little awkward, but I think it definitely is a match made in heaven. I got Lynn Grant and Aaron Rai, 2 incredible talented players who share the same fascinating and frustrating patterns. They can catch lightning in a bottle at any given week and find a way to win against the best fields in the world. And Aaron Rai did that at the PGA Championship this year. I mean, he wasn't in the final pairing group. He was one of those last groups. But he played so well, he was a clubhouse leader, and no one could catch him, which gave him his first major. And we see the same thing with Lynn Grant. She did this at the Annika, going 52 consecutive holes without a bogey and winning by 3 shots. On those weeks, they look like world beaters. But here's where things get interesting, and this is backed by the numbers. Y'all know I like stats. You know I like trends. Both players have a significant drop-off in their second round scoring that tells the real story of why they haven't won more. Aaron Rai is ranked 62 on tour in first round scoring, but falls all the way to 117th in round 2. Lynn Grant ranks 22nd on the LPGA Tour in first round scoring, elite company, but drops to 130th in round 2 scoring, which is why she's been missing a lot of cuts. And I saw she withdraw maybe a few weeks back. Not sure if that's due to injury, but We can see that first round scoring, going into second round scoring, has not been nice to both of them. So I don't think that's a coincidence. That's a pattern. The question for both of them is the same. Can they figure out what happens between Thursday and Friday? We'll see. And unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers missed the cut at the Memorial when he was at the top of the leaderboard at one point in the first round. Next, I got Lee LeVue and Jordan Spieth. Unique one here. When you talk about peak dominance, both of these players had stretches that made their entire golf world stop and take notice. In 2023, Lee LeVue won 2 majors in a single season, collected multiple victories, and climbed to the world number 1. Jordan Spieth did the same exact thing in 2015. We remember that. 2 majors, world number 1, and a level of golf that had people talking about the next all-time great. Then life happened for both of them. Injuries crept in, slowed down that momentum, that once seemed unstoppable. We know that Lee LeVue was dealing with some back injuries, kind of slowed down her momentum. Jordan Spieth, I believe he had a clavicle, a wrist, had some surgeries. Still kind of searching for what they both used to be. They've showed glimpses many times. I mean, Lee LeVue's at the top of the leaderboard in the Dow Championship this week. Jordan Spieth has done well at both majors so far this year. I think at the Masters he finished T12. And we always think they're back. Fortunately, the consistency throughout the weekend has been a weak point for both of them, where a guy like Jordan Spieth misses the cut at the Memorial. Lee LeVue has missed multiple cuts this year. She did really good in the first round of the Women's U.S. Open. And then, unfortunately, second round, I think she went 5 over. She missed the cut. So, there's a lot that makes this comparison pretty powerful. Neither one of them has necessarily lost it, per se. You still see the glimpses, like I said, but it just hasn't all clicked all the way there where it finds them in the winners category. And at least for Lee LeVue, she got a top 10 this week. Jordan Spieth has not had a top 10 all year. I think his best finish is a T11. So that's the comparison, man. Again, my whole point in doing that is Nelly's a dog. Nelly's the face of the LPGA. But if you're going to start to watch the LPGA because of the not emergence, because Nelly's always been good, but because of the dominance of Nelly Korda, which is bringing attraction to the LPGA, I want you to know some of these other players. And honestly, I love the LPGA. I could have went down so many other players. I mean, I at one point, I think I had Lexi Thompson. Her counterpart was Adam Scott. Both were really, really good players. Both only have 1 major win. Very notable people. I could have went all day with this, but didn't want to take up too much of you guys' time, man. But that's all I got for the LPGA. I think Nate's about to come on. I'm going to transition myself back in because it's a little too hot right now. So we'll see you in a few. And finally, Nate just showed up, man.
Yo.
Obviously, I had to run solo by myself, but we're here to break down the U.S. Open, man, which is obviously one of the bigger events on the PGA Tour. Before we get into that, Nate, man, the hot take of the week from Upper East Side Golf. He said, heading into Shinnecock, I think J.J. Spahn has a higher chance of a repeat than Scottie does at the Career Grand Slam. Nate, what are your thoughts about that hot take? Or is it a hot take?
I mean, dude, I feel like it was like 2 weeks ago where I was like JJ Spawn, or it wasn't probably almost a little more than 2 weeks ago. Probably like, dude, he's a fraud, and it was a one-hit wonder. And then he like wins the next week. So I don't know. Like I feel like his game is always just set up great for USGA conditions, though. It's just he hits it straight, not that far. He's pretty good from tee to green, and he putts really freaking well. Just this year, his biggest strength hasn't been good. But I think there's some validity to Scottie not gonna get his career Grand Slam. He's having a Bryson year, dude. Like he's not doing well at all.
That is crazy.
I would say not doing well at all, but he's not doing world number 1 Tiger comparison at all.
Yeah, for sure. Like I guess like I said, the expectations that come as number 1 golfer, as well as what the Scottie stands and fans have been like putting out there. Like he isn't playing to that level. I'm not mad at the thought that this guy had by any means, but I think it is a bit of a reach. Is Scottie playing at a career Grand Slam level? No, but I mean JJ Spahn's not playing at a repeatable level either.
Yeah, no.
So I think Scottie would have a better chance than JJ Spahn repeating. But I feel like this guy might have tweeted that out of frustration because it's like J.J. Spahn missing the cut is like, all right, he missed the cut. But Scottie not being dominant is frustrating if you're a fan of Scottie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like Scottie could turn it on anytime. Like last year, he kind of had a slow start, and then it was the year of Scottie. And watch it be. And we know he's gonna be dialed this week. Like he's gonna try to get after it this week.
He has to.
So,
he has to.
What if this is the week that it's the second half of the year is the year of Scottie? Yeah,
that is true, man. Which kind of goes into my next question: is let's discuss the elephant in the room. Will Scottie get his career Grand Slam? And I've seen the Golf Channel posting all this like hype building up to like, oh, is this the week that he's going to get it? And we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I want you to emphasize on that. Do you believe that Scottie would get his career Grand Slam this week at the U.S. Open?
Dude, I really don't think this is the year of Scottie. Like, we're going to go through our U.S. Open picks. I'm not going to pick Scottie. And the reason why is because I think somebody is going to be hot and then Scottie's going to finish second or third. That's what I think is going to happen. So it's going to be like Rory at the Masters, or like Rory just kills everybody. And then Scottie didn't like earn second place, or he wasn't in contention and then fell back. He just kind of was. You added up the scores, and guess who got second? Oh, it was Scottie. We forgot you were here. That's kind of what happened at the Masters. And because like the Masters was really Cam Young and Rory. Like they were coming down the stretch, and Cam Young just kept making pars.
I think we didn't really make Scottie a story per se until he missed that putt on 17, and then man, if he would have made that, now we're looking at a playoff between Rory and Scottie, which I think that would have got so many views if that would have happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I just don't think. I think it's going to be like that. I think someone's going to play. It's going to be like an Aaron Rye or something like that, playing out of their minds, and then
for sure.
Yeah.
I say no as well. I don't think Scottie gets it this year. And like I said earlier, I don't think his game is playing at a career Grand Slam type level. Again, he's not as dominant as he was in 2022 and 2025. And some people take offense to that. I've been going back and forth with a lot of people. Like I said, I grade him out as a B+. People say you're an idiot, but all you guys are saying that he's playing at a B level. So are you just mad because I graded him out as a B+ out of your pride for Scottie, or is he actually playing at a B level? And, it's funny because the last two tournaments, the big tournaments he's participated in, he finished T12 at the Memorial and T14 at the Masters. At the PGA Championship. And for a regular Tour Pro, those are good finishes. But for a Scottie, that feels like I barely made the cut. And I think that's how he feels. And, again, if you're a Scottie fan, that's probably how you feel. But in reality, a T12 and a T14, those are great finishes. Joaquin Niemann wish he had those finishes. But for a Scottie, it's like, man, obviously, if he's not coming out of the gates in round one, he's probably going to finish that same thing at the U.S. Open. U.S. Open's not easy at all. And he wasn't even in contention last year at the Oakmont. So I don't think he gets it. I think he does at some point of his career. I think this year is just like a random outlier year. This is just like what Nelly went through last year. She just could not win. Nelly came back on fire this year and already won half the majors. Well, I guess it's 5 majors, so almost over half the majors. She's won, 4 of the 8 events this year. Like, she's just 50%. So, Scottie has the ability next year. And that's not to say Scottie's going to start his game next year. He can start it this week. He can start it the following week. He can start it whenever he wants and his game starts to click. But I feel like he's having a Nelly type year. Still a dominant player, still world number one, even though Nelly wasn't world number one, she was number 2, but still playing at a high level, but just not finishing in the way that we have these expectations for Scottie to finish. So I don't think he'll get it. I think he'll finish somewhere well, but I don't think he's going to get a career Grand Slam. So I think we can shut the door on Spieth getting it and Scottie getting this year, and we just got to wait for next year. So Jackson Koepka, obviously number 1 amateur, dog at Auburn, will debut next week at the John Deere Classic as he just turned pro. And he currently has better odds to win the U.S. Open over all these guys: Aaron Rai, Minwoo Lee, Adam Scott, Akshay Bhatia, Siwoo Kim, and Wyndham Clark. 3 of those players are major winners. Nate, let me hear your thoughts about that.
Dude, are we overhyping? This kid is freaking talented.
I actually went back and watched him play at the NCAAs at Carlsbad against the Stout, and he was playing very, very good.
And he smoked these kids, dude. And these kids are really good players.
Right.
So no doubt, nothing against Jackson Koivun, but it's like when we threw guys like Neil Shipley, Sam Bennett,
we hyped up Johnny Kiefer.
Johnny Kiefer on Corn Ferry, you know, but it's like we throw in these guys and they do nothing on tour because granted, it's
not right away.
It's not right away, and it's like the longevity of it is just hard to sustain, especially against these guys who are shooting scoring average of 67 on super hard courses, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I just want to say pump the brakes a little bit. I wonder if it's just like they want people to bet on him or something like that. I don't know what these sportsbook people do. I don't know. Watch this kid freaking win it, dude. That just
he could be that Aaron Rai. He could be that Christopher Rayton. You know, he could be an Alex Fitzpatrick. He could, and not in terms of talented, because he probably has way more upside than those guys. But he could be the surprise player going into the U.S. Open. But you know, I do think it's a bit of a, you know, I don't say a bit of a reach. I mean, the odds are that. But sometimes I think we start to kind of overhype a lot of these players coming in. You know, like we look at Scottie, came in 2019 to get his first win until 2022. Took some time. You know, not everyone's going to be Tiger and winning their 5th event of their pro career, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and we look at it last year in 2025, he missed the cut at the U.S. Open. Now, granted, Oakmont was a very hard course. Shinnecock's a little bit more easy, a little bit more wide open. But, like I said, 3 of these guys on this list are major winners. Aaron Rai, Adam Scott, Wyndham Clark. So, and Wyndham is playing phenomenal as we're talking right now.
Are they watching the tape, dude?
That was my. And I watched. I mean, Siwoo, it's debatable because sometimes he's always top of the leaderboard. Yeah, but like Aaron Rai, I mean, only one I can maybe see. I mean, I feel like I don't really see any of these. Maybe Minwoo, but I mean, and maybe Adam Scott. You know, he hasn't really. I mean, Adam Scott did well last year at the U.S. Open, but I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's a reach, and maybe Vegas is just trying to, like, you know what, we need some money in our pockets, let's trick people into like betting this guy, and then it's like, all right, well, Vegas is now up. So but I'm very curious to see how he does. He could be that dark horse like we talked about. He could be the Aaron Rai, he could be the Christopher Rayton, he could be the JT Poston. You just
that's
never
right,
know,
last
man.
week. Yeah.
But yeah, very talented guy. I mean, I even encourage people, like, if you like to watch YouTube golf or just golf on YouTube, go back and watch how he played at Carlsbad at the NCAA Championships and match play. He played phenomenal. So this kid will be the real deal. I just don't know if he'll have that immediate impact like we're kind of hoping for and whatnot. But, Nate, let's break down these players and how we think they'll finish at Shinnecock in New York, the U.S. Open, big tournament, man. And we know USGA conditions, man, are tough, man. We see guys winning at +1 sometimes. I mean, what did J.J. Spaun win at last year? Like 2 under, like
-1, yeah.
Yeah.
But then the other guy was even. I think second place was even.
Yeah, which was Rob McIntyre. So USGA, they don't play, man. But starting off with Scottie Scheffler, how do you think he will finish, and what's your thoughts on Scottie going into Shinnecock?
Dude, honestly, I think at best it's going to be we add up the scores. Oh, and Scottie got 3rd or something like that. But I really think realistically he's going to be 8th to 12th.
I like that.
That'd be my guess. I don't really have I just think that's just his year. His year is 8th to 12th.
Yeah, I like that too. I got him just in the top 10. And I mean, honestly, it depends on how he comes out in the first round, man. His first round performance has been notoriously bad this year, where he kind of like thugs it out, makes the cut, and then his round 3 is so incredible that, like you said, he finds himself finishing like in the top 5. The separating factor is how is he going to do with his irons and his wedges, man. The only category that he's in the red right now is proximity, and that's been a huge issue for him, and that's really one of his strong suits. I mean, we talked about this last year. What did Sam Burns wish that he can switch with Scottie? Which almost everything. But he was like, man, if I can have Scottie's iron play, and last year when Sam Burns was #1 putter on tour, he was like, man, I would win a lot more. But unfortunately, that has been his, downfall. Only thing that's in the red is proximity. It's very crazy because what we expect from Scottie is like pin hunting, pin seeking. Yeah. And obviously we saw last week at the Memorial, obviously the thing between him and Ted. I know a lot of people were trying to say, a lot of people were saying that's not a pin that you go for. Now, Sky's a guy that has the boldness and the talents to attack pins, but we saw that obviously cost him a lot, and he had to go into the drop zone. So, I think Sky still finished top 10, but we've already talked enough about Sky in regards to, like, we don't think he's going to get his career Grand Slam. Now, guys, if you're listening, again, like, subscribe. And he gets us, me and Nate will be the first one to come on here and apologize.
That's true.
Yeah, but his game's not playing.
He can ball.
Slam, so he can ball. Yeah,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we've been hedging kind of our bets. Like, dude, this could be the week he turns it on. I was thinking about it like this. Like, Nelly had the little honeymoon phase, kind of slow start to the LPGA this year. Scottie had his son, slow start. But once they get over that, then it's just, dude, what if Scottie turns into Nelly right now? We're screwed,
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess once he had his kid, that's when things slowed up because he came out his first tournament and won the American Express.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the kid timeline and Nelly's honeymoon timeline or the engagement timeline. I'm like, oh, dude, like it might time out well that like Scottie starts playing well this week,
Yeah. Well, I mean, and this is the thing. I know the PGA is so desperate for Scottie to win. I don't think the PGA Tour IG page enjoys posting about JT posting, Aaron Rye. I feel like they have so much stuff in the draft just waiting to click post for Scottie, but they can't because he's not. So I know the PGA Tour is desperate for it, man, because when these other guys win, I feel like it's talked about for like a day or two and they move on. Scottie wins, it's going to be talked about for weeks. So I think the PGA Tour IG page is desperate for a Scottie win. Next person I got for us is Bryson DeChambeau. How do you think he's going to finish at the U.S. Open?
Dude, missed the cut, dude. There's no way. I feel like this course is harder. I don't say harder than Augusta because Augusta is its own beast, It
is.
And it's very unique. But, dude, it's gonna be like the PGA Championship, but more. And that Bryson got dead last there pretty much. And
Yeah, no, I agree. I got him at T50, if whatever the cut line may be. I got him at T50, and simply because, I think making a cut for Bryson is a win. Now, he's not going to say that. He's not going to be like, oh, I made the cut. That's a win, a moral victory. It's like he wants to win the tournament. But it's hard for me to believe this man's about to go 0 for 3. I just can't believe that he would do that. Now, he does have pedigree at the U.S. Open. He's won twice. He's won in 2019. He's won in 2024. So if it's any tournament for him to get back to form, is indeed the U.S. Open. But right now, as we see, he's not been very consistent in the majors. I'm very curious if he's tinkering with club selection right now. If he's still doing the 3D
printing.
If it's 60 degree, it's still the size of a 6-iron or whatever that may be. I am very curious on his preparation and his mindset going into this because, unfortunately, because who he is, their eyes are going to be on him. And then on top of that, I think because he has a heavy involvement in LIV right now in regards to sitting in on these meetings, trying to get these investors, I think that's another mental aspect that might be weighing on him. And I'm sure he can try his best to separate the two while in gameplay, but we don't know if that's playing a factor as well because in reality, it's like I might not have a home next year or a tour to play in next year. So I don't know if that might be weighing on him and stuff. And, again, a guy who wants to continue to do YouTube golf. We talked about this, 2 weeks ago. If you're not finishing well in majors, then, bro, you're not going to have any exemptions. And YouTube golf does not help you get in to these majors. The only thing you can do is go qualify for a U.S. Open and hope for maybe special invites for these other majors. But you're going to have to place well in the U.S. Open to continue to add towards your, exemptions and stuff like that. So that's my take on Bryson. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Dude, you just made me think about, remember that year that Rory was like on the PGA players board or whatever, and he just sucked all year, and he was also the loudest guy against LIV. Yeah. And it's like, as soon as he steps down, I don't know if this is right before the Tour Championship, but he freaking wins the Tour Championship,
Yeah.
So it's like
he beat Scottie. I remember that.
So that's kind of like what's happened with Bryson. Explains a little bit. It's like, because he probably knew some of these things was going on before it was going on,
Yeah.
And he's probably in these meetings, and Scott O'Neil was probably like, Bryson, please help me out. Please. You are the face. You are the face. You and Rahm, you and Jon Rahm. And Bryson's like, hang on, dude. I got to go to the lab and 3D print my 5-iron. And then got to fly all the way over here to New York to do a meeting,
Right. Oh, yeah, bro. And, I don't know how much that's weighing on him. I mean, granted, for him, he doesn't have kids, he doesn't have a wife and stuff like that, so he does have the freedom, but I think that still weighs on him heavy in regards to possibly performance and stuff like that, man. But you got Bryson at a miscut, I got him at T50, so we're not really expecting much. But again, he's another guy who's won 2 U.S. Opens. Can be like, man, I'm familiar with this major, and watch me show out. Next guy, guys, Rory McIlroy.
Dude, I think Rory. It depends. It depends on his driver because Augusta is kind of forgiving with that.
It is.
Other places, not so much. And how do you do at the PGA?
He got like top 15 or something, I think.
Yeah, he did okay at the PGA, if I recall.
Yeah.
I think Roy's going to do about that at the U.S. Open. He might make a little noise, but I think he's going to be about that.
Yeah, I got the same thing. I got Rory McIlroy, top 15. Hasn't missed a cut all year, so obviously he's been a steady Eddie, number 2 golfer in the world. But the question I have for us is like, man, which Rory are we going to get? We're going to get this pouty, moody, kick him out, get him out type Rory, or the one if he doesn't play well, then, the course setup stinks, or we're going to get the Rory that's real cocky and stuff like that. And the cocky Rory is a very good golfer, a really good golfer. I mean, we look at the PGA Championship, complaining day 1 because he didn't shoot well, talking about the setup was bad, then recants his statement the second day because he shot really good. So it's really like, what mood are you in this week, Rory? If we get the cocky Rory, he's probably going to play well. We're not going to like him personally, but cocky Rory is a very, very good golfer. Or we're going to get this moody Rory, man. And you know what's funny? I mean, obviously, he's not going to ever lose the crowd. But imagine if, like, the gallery's like, I'm not following Rory because he might get me kicked out, and I want to enjoy the U.S. Open. Because, like, it's like you're always at a risk of getting kicked out when it comes to Rory, man.
That's more like Phoenix Open, though. Like, people would be like, I don't want to follow Rory because they're going to get kicked out of the Phoenix Open. But
he should have
Phoenix
expectations
like that.
Yeah, it's like that. And I guess he doesn't expect that for the PGA Championship. He should expect it for the Ryder Cup. I mean, granted, depending on what was said is different, because if you're being very, demeaning and stuff to him, then I understand that. But if you're just saying go USA after you hit a shot and it's a bad shot, stop being soft.
Yeah, it's not talking during your backswing. Like, if they're not talking to your backswing, like, it's fine. It's all, it's just heckling, you're a freaking pro athlete. Come on.
Exactly. He is, man. And he doesn't have the mental strength to deal with that, man. He's soft. But if we get cocky Roy, man, I mean, we'll see.
Even like with the 2024 U.S. Open, like, he was playing really well. It was just Bryson was doing miracle Bryson and stretching out his hip on hole 13.
Yeah. And it's crazy, too, because remember they had that little, that little, I don't know, showdown with Bryson and Brooks versus Scottie and Rory. And they were having, like, some banter at the driving range. And Rory said something along the lines of, like, man, you took the U.S. Open for me. And then I think Bryson was like, well, I didn't tell you to miss that putt. Which is true.
To go up against Bryson, to try to get him back for what he did to me at the U.S. Open.
To be fair, you kind of did it to yourself.
I didn't tell you to miss that putt, dog.
He did kind of choke with those, like, he made, like, good, long
ones, bro.
Like 15-footers and then missed the 3-footers. And on 18, missed the 3-footer or whatever. Yeah.
Right, but they even said that the Women's U.S. Open Riviera, they said it's not really the lag putts that scare you. It's the short 4 to 8 footers, and that's why I said last week this is the hardest course to make 4 to 8 foot putts, which is why Nelly almost lipped out on 18, along with a lot of other ladies too. But I mean, hey, Rory, it was your fault, like Bryson said, man. Next person I got is Cam Young.
Cam Young, dude. I expect a lot out of Cam Young this weekend. I know he's kind of going through a little bit of a slump, but it's golf, I think he's gonna flip a switch, and we're gonna get Sawgrass Cam Young, or we're gonna get Masters Cam Young. I think, dude, that guy needs to win a major. He's so freaking good.
Yeah.
So I expect some noise, some contention, Sunday final pairing, that kind of stuff.
Ooh, yeah, I got the same thing. I got Cam Young finishing in top 5, and I'll even say this too: before he even really became like a guy, last year at the U.S. Open, he finished T4 at Oakmont, and now he's actually a guy. So
dude. Oh, shoot, that's a great point. That's a great point.
So now that he's established himself as a PGA Tour, winning tournaments, like, again, the Players, the Cadillac, I for sure see him getting top 5, in this tournament. And I think the only downfall to this is, I think about 10 holes, as I did my research, have bunkers, and he's in the red in regards to sand saves. So he's going to have to be extremely accurate to avoid bunkers. I mean, it's not like Oakmont with the church pews. Like, you don't have that many, but, like, the few that does, he's going to have to be dialed in terms of proximity and stuff like that to avoid, having to, do sand saves though. But, I really think Cam can finish in top 5, and his putting average is also in the red too. So, but we seen his putter get hot again, Players, Masters, Cadillac Championships. He can definitely do it. So, Cam Young for sure. Next person we got, Matt Fitzpatrick.
Dude, I expect the same out of Matt Fitzpatrick. He's won the U.S. Open. When he won it, it was up in the Northeast, I think. It was when he won it. So, kind of familiar territory. And he is so freaking good right now. And that cross-handed chipping is going to help him scramble. It's been saving lives. It's saved Alex Fitzpatrick's life, dude. So
the bunker for sure.
Yes, dude. So, dude, and that chip shot, dude. Yeah, that chip shot that he hit when he got at the Zurich, dude. If he pulls off shots like that, bro, he's gonna be up there with Cam Young in the final pairing or the group of 4. Like I expect that from him too.
Yeah, I would love it, man. I have those same exact takes on Matt Fitzpatrick. I see him finishing more like top 12. Obviously you said his lone major is the U.S. Open. But unfortunately, since he's been winning, bro, his putting has digressed again. Putting average, he's ranked 137. Putts per round, he's ranked 140. One putt percentage, he's ranked 153. Strokes gained putting, he's ranked 112. So he's going to need one of those outlier days with the putter. Has not been his strong suit. But we see even when his putter's not working that well, he can still finish like top 25, top 15. But if he just scoots up a little bit, that's when we see a Zurich, a RBC Heritage type of Matt Fitzpatrick. So it all depends on his putter, man. He's going to have to really go in confidently saying, like, man, I can make putts. And again, USGA conditions, bro, probably the worst tournament to try to figure it out at, but you kind of hope it does click for him at this point. Well. Absolutely, man. Jon Rahm.
Dude, that's the guy that I really don't know where to go.
Me neither. No, I don't either.
Because I'm assuming there's like this live distraction. I mean, like it was just this last week where Scott O'Neill was talking about how it's like, you invest in us, you're going to get your money back. But I can't guarantee anything else.
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
So I don't know. But I just don't think he's going to do well. And he's won the U.S. Open before. Mm-hmm. I just don't have high expectations for Jon Rahm. I think he'll make the cut, though. I think he'll make the cut.
He'll make the cut. I don't think he's going to miss the cut. But, it's funny what you said. I don't think Liv is as big of a distraction because he said in the interview that I'm not going to involve myself in business discussions because I don't know business. So I don't think it's weighing on him as heavy as Bryson, who is a part of those meetings. So I think he's just here to play golf. So that's a mental part that's not going to be on his mind. I think just the simple fact that, like, man, I want to win a major while being on Liv to kind of quiet the noise to say that Liv guys can't win major. And I don't know if he cares as much, but just for me being a fan, do you want to see Liv guys get swept again like they did last year? A Liv guy has to come in here and win, a major, so it's not an 0 for 4 like it was last year. But I got Jon Rahm finishing in the top 15, because he is kind of hard to figure out. I mean, at the Masters, nothing special, did okay, snuck back in and made the cut. Then the PGA Championship, it's like he has a chance to win. Because remember, we kept saying, I want to see him win Cam Smith to win because I want to hear Brandel talk about it. So he was really hard to kind of like, analyze and stuff. But I see him in the top 15, but I don't think the Liv situation is the bigger distraction because he's not involved in the business aspect of it. He's letting it work out for himself, and if it works out, it works out. But if you guys are listening, we will get into some Liv discussions and stuff like that about what we're going to see with Liv next year. Next person I got is major winner, Aaron Rai.
I think he's going to ball out. Let's not forget, okay? I'm pretty sure it was last year at Oakmont, and I think at Sawgrass, he was the leader after round one, after the morning wave of the round one. So I think Aaron Rai is going to do really well. I think he's going to be top 10.
Ooh, okay. I think Aaron Rai is really good when he's chasing, though. That's probably like after he's probably leading, he's probably like, what the heck am I doing up here? Because at the PGA Championship, he wasn't in the final pairing group. He wasn't leading. He just went crazy, and he was clubhouse leader. He just had to wait and see how it played through. And obviously, I think the scores, you can tell, like, well, if they don't hole out here or get a hole in one, he's probably like, I'm actually about to win this thing. So obviously he's not going to take his foot off the gas and say like, okay, let me just kind of float around 10 so I'm not the leader. But you are right. We do see him at the top of the leaderboard quite a bit. It's not sustainable a lot of the times, but I actually got him like at T40, T45. He hasn't missed a cut.
Really, dude?
Yeah, I do. He hasn't missed a cut in a major since 2024 U.S. Open, so he is consistent, but he's not always at the top of the leaderboard. And I don't want to be so gung-ho about what he did at the PGA Championship because, again, we've emphasized this is USGA. And can he prove me wrong? Man, if Aaron Rodgers proves me wrong, I'll be so ecstatic. Because then we're talking Xander conversation like he had in 2024 if you win 2 of the majors this year. But I just think he's a T40, T45 type guy. He probably will surprise us.
Dude, Jeremy's such a hater, dude. Are you kidding me,
I'm not, bro. I love Aaron Rodgers, bro. I swear. If he wins, I'll go buy a second glove right now to put on my right hand, bro. Next person we got, man, Tyrell Hatton.
Tyrell, dude. I mean, I don't think he's going to be like Cam Young or Fitzpatrick, but I think he's going to finish close to the top 5.
He's
if
always
not
been like that,
inside the top 5. He just always sneaks in there. So
finds a way.
Yeah, I just have reason to believe he's going to do it again, and he's going to do the best out of all the live guys.
Yeah, that's typically how it's been. His only outlier tournament that he does not play well is the PGA Championship. Last year he got T60. This year he missed the cut. We got that over with. Played phenomenal at the Masters. Had an opportunity to probably get into that final pairing group or even win it. And then at the U.S. Open last year, was playing really, really good. I think he led the live golfers. I think it was him, Carlos Ortiz, and then Jon Rahm. But he was at the top of the leaderboard. And he just won the last live event. And I think it's always really good, no matter what tour you play on. If you win coming to the U.S. Open, that's like my game is feeling good going into a major. I didn't play good 5 weeks ago, and now I got the U.S. Open. Like, I just won. And then you get time off to go prepare for the U.S. Open. And I think, what great timing for Tyrell Hatton. I got him finishing at T5. And if you're listening to this podcast, I don't think that's a surprise. If we go back and look at how Tyrell Hatton's been finishing in the majors, with the exception of the PGA Championship, you will see that I'm making sense here. Next person I got is Jordan Spieth.
Jordan, I don't know, man. I think he's going to make the cut. I think he'll get at least that.
Yeah.
That's my expectation for him, though. It's better than Bryson.
Yeah. So you got Bryson missing the cut, and I got Jordan Spieth missing the cut. I mean, I love the guy. Amazing guy, man, but
Jeremy is a hater, dude. Everyone needs to know that right now.
No, I'm not hating. Aaron Rye, you could kind of maybe say I'm hating, which I'm not. I love Aaron Rye. But Jordan Spieth just give me reason. I mean, he just missed the cut at the Memorial, and just nothing's clicking for him. He's going to have an incredible first round. He's going to trick all of you. And we're going to say, oh, Spieth is back, just like we do every time. I remember when he made a birdie with his back turned to the hole at the Memorial. We gassed that up. He missed the cut. And, again, guys, as we're saying this, it's not that I want that for Jordan Spieth. I want to see Jordan Spieth be dominant again. However, his game is not showing that, like, he's back to that. Yeah, he's striking his irons better, so he says. He's back at a major level like when he won early in 2015. But his putting is not at a major level. And, again, USGA, dog, you have to be good at putting. And that has not been his strong suit. So I think the putter probably will cease operations, and he's going to miss the cut.
Bro, that's that.
Big hot take. Big hot.
I mean, granted, like, you're right. He always has a strong, not even round one. He's like strong front nine of round one. That's true. About it, you know? And then it's like, then it's just a colorful scorecard on the back nine. And then he somehow finishes 1 under or even on the back. You know, it's just,
bro. It's so crazy, man. And for like our guy, Noah Reed, who loves Spieth, I know the stress of watching him is like riding a roller coaster. You're up, then you're down. You're up, then you're down. Just like, I don't know if he needs another off season to get ready or whatever, but you don't got time. So, yeah, I got Jordan Spieth missing the cut. I also said this year I don't think he's going to make another top 10. Some people agree. Some people obviously threw tomatoes at me. At this point, I've been throwing so many tomatoes at me I can make a salad right now. Next person I got, Brooks Koepka.
Brooks, dude, that was another hard one too because, you know, like he has good rounds, he has good finishes, but
Won
it's
here
never
in 2018.
Yeah, well, I know he's won, and like the U.S. Open twice, I think.
But at this specific location, though, he's won.
That's crazy. I thought he won at Aaron Hills too, right? But it doesn't matter. So
yeah,
I know he's a dog. You know, it's just this year, the tape doesn't show any consistency. I mean, he's consistently making cuts, I guess, but he's not.
He's got a few.
He'll have he'll have a few top tens, and then it'd be like 30.
Playing better than
and
Spieth.
then that's true. You tweeted that. It's true. No disagreements. But it'll be like a top 10, then a 30th, a top 10, then a 47th, and then so like I just don't know. I feel like it's gonna be. Watching me go on a freaking run though. Like he's won here, so
yeah.
I think it's anywhere from 10th to 30th is what he's gonna finish.
Okay, I want to read off his finishes this year. Because I said they were getting better, man. He has some,
and he was trending better. Like, yeah.
All right, so I guess he only has one top 10. So obviously his debut this year, he finished T56 at the Farmers Insurance, and I remember tweeting this or talking about it on the podcast. Like, man, if you're on Live, you're one from last place because there's 57 players on Live. Obviously, he missed the cut at the Phoenix Open. Then he got that T9 at the Cosnet, and I remember you talking about how good you get a top 10, but this field wasn't that strong. So we're going to have to see more out of you. Comes at the Players, get a solid T13, which was really good. At the Valspar, gets a T18. Unfortunately, at the Houston Open, couldn't find anything. He missed the cut. At the Masters, T12. Played really good at the Masters.
I thought he was like a 30th at the Masters.
Nah, he got a 12th. Yeah, the Zurich, he missed the cut, unfortunately, because he paired with Shane Lowry?
Yeah, but the Zurich, it doesn't count. Yeah, I wouldn't really worry about that one.
Hey, it counts for Alex Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
And then the One Flight Myrtle Beach finished with a T11, which is solid. The PGA Championship, not so well. Something he's definitely won. Back in 2023 was his last one. Finished T55. And then the Byron Nelson finished T14. So it is a pretty sporadic season for him. He does show glimpses. I think the main thing for Brooks Koepka, if he's hitting fairways and putting aggressively, then we can definitely see, a vintage type of Brooks Koepka. Go ahead.
I was he putted aggressively this weekend,
He did. Well,
made some putts with authority, at least round one.
At least Thursday and Friday. Saturday, not so much, but it was just reported that he's dealing with a bit of a hand injury. So that's why he went, I believe, 2 over, on Saturday. So is that hand going to heal up before we get to the U.S. Open? What does that look like? How does that affect his game? That's the big question mark for Brooks Koepka, because I think going back to Shinnecock, he's going to feel the familiarities of, I've won here before. And I think a lot of times when we experience, places like that, success, we kind of have, a different type of walk and demeanor about ourselves. But if it's an injury, that's different. And obviously, I don't know if it's his left hand, if it's right hand, but regardless, man, he's going to have to obviously, get that healed up before he gets to the U.S. Open. Next person I got is Rickie Fowler, Puma's finest.
Miscut. Just say it. Yeah. Miscut, dude.
Yeah. I got the same thing, miscut. And, he missed 2 cuts in a row, which led him to not make it in the Masters. And then he just missed back-to-back cuts before the U.S. Open. So I'm not feeling good about Rickie. And in my opinion, I don't know how he feels. I feel like he quit at the Memorial. You went plus 17, bro. I know Memorial is one of the hardest courses on tour, but I just feel like he was just trying to get through the 2 days and be like, I just want to get out of here. And the reason I have an issue with that, we see a guy remember Nick Dunlap at the Masters, I think last year, first round he shot plus 20.
90. Oh, that's right. Yeah, and then he shoots 70
the
next day.
And I appreciated that. And I could be wrong, but I felt like the energy I was seeing from my couch about Rickie Fowler at the Memorial is that, man, you quit, bro. You quit. And now you about to go play USGA. What's your mindset there, bro? So, and I'm mad because Rickie tricked me. I won't say he tricked me, but he tricked a lot of us at the Truist getting that T2. He missed a crucial putt on 18, but could have possibly won and went to a playoff. But, I'm like, this game's coming around. And then you pull off this back-to-back missed cut with a plus 17 Memorial. I'm just like, bro, you quit. Now, again, I don't know. He could have been sick, stomach bug. It's a lot of other factors, and I can be totally wrong. But I just didn't appreciate that if he did. But let's move over to someone that makes you roll your eyes, but unfortunately he's playing good, Wyndham Clark.
Dude, I know we're doing our picks. I'm going to get ahead of myself, but I think he's going to contend. I think he's going to freaking win. He's putting like it. So And he's hitting his drives like it too, man. Like just the tee to green, everything is just. He's gonna be with Cam Young on that final pairing, dude. How cool would that be?
Oh wow, yeah. I hear you on that. I got him finishing the top 8, bro. Wyndham probably playing his best golf right now in his last 2 years, my opinion. And he's very familiar with winning U.S. Opens. He got a new caddy, got a new girlfriend. Him and T-Mobile have made up. Locker rooms are now safe. I mean, Wyndham's in the best position right now to go out there and win the U.S. Open. Obviously he won the Byron Nelson. He got third at the Memorial, and currently, as we're speaking, at the RBC Canadian, he's in the top 5 right now. So his game is trending well. Like I said about Tyrell Hatton, going into the U.S. Open, and again, with his familiarity, saying, man, if he wins, bro, he's another guy's like, we don't really like when he opens his mouth. But when he's playing well, it's just like, it doesn't matter. You're playing well, man. And I can separate opinion from the tape, and the tape of Wyndham Clark right now is looking phenomenal. So, let us know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Was there a player you want us to break down? Who do you think you like going into the U.S. Open? Because right now we're about to go into our 3 predicting winners as well as our 2 dark horses. And again, at Shinnecock, guys, please like, subscribe, all that type of good stuff. Nate, give me your first predicting winner.
Dude, I mean, we just talked about him. Wyndham freaking Clark, dude. I mean, he's played well this weekend. He won the Byron Nelson. And he had like 9 putts in that freaking back 9. And dude, he's just unbelievable. So I feel like he's got to be one of the picks. And also, I will say this. I'm not going to pick Cam and Matt Fitzpatrick. I'm going to try to pick other people. So make it a little harder.
It's really funny you say that, too, because that used to be our take on Scottie. But, like, now he's available to pick because he's not dominating the league.
He is available to pick. I'm just not going to pick him.
Yeah. I actually got Jake Knapp. I mean, I know he was dealing with a couple injuries and stuff. I know this is probably more of a dark horse pick, but, man, I'm just so in love with the swing. Like I said, he hasn't really competed in a while due to injury. But when you got a guy like – what was the guy who won in 2004? Retief Goosen claimed the 2024 U.S. Open.
Retief Goosen, yes, dude.
Yes. Yeah, he did so by putting 11 greens in the final round to beat Phil Mickelson. Jake Knapp is number 2 in strokes gained putting and number 3 in scoring average. So I think Jake Knapp has the game to win the U.S. Open. Now, granted, Jake Knapp is been historically a guy this year has been like knocked himself out of contention. He's never in the final pairing group, but he's always like in those final 3 where it's like, man, if he could just do better down the stretch with like 15 to 18, maybe he's hosting some trophies, but then like he'll have that random bogey or that random double bogey and then like eagle the last hole and be like top 5.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Yeah, at that point, it doesn't matter when he eagles. I know what you mean. Yeah, like he just will contend, fall out of contention, and then do something great again, but it's like doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. So, but we'll see how he does come back from injury. I mean, this is a tournament you don't want to miss. Obviously, when we had Andrew Novak on, he talked about like, man, his back was messed up, but he did not want to miss the U.S. Open. Kind of just went out there dinking driver, just kind of getting familiar with.
It's a great strategy. Yeah,
and end up making the cut. So I'm very hopeful for Jake Knapp, but we'll see, man. Who's your second pick, Nate?
So I'm going to go with Colin Morikawa. Gonna get his 3rd major, first one that's not a PGA Championship. And the main thing is because, well, first he got like 8th at the Masters, and that Sunday was playing really good golf. The putter was finally working. He's 11th in driver accuracy, which I think is going to be helpful.
Good here, yeah.
Which is going to be really helpful. And again, we all know his approach. He's number 1 in approach. So those are my reasons.
No, that's a good point, man. If he can get his putter doing what he did at the Masters Sunday, driving accuracy, and number 1 in approach to green, you should win lights out, hopefully. But again, I keep repeating myself, USGA putting, so tough. I know you eliminated him, but I'm going to pick him. I'm going Cam Young. This place, Shinnecock, is about 2.5, 3 hours away from his hometown. And we know how Cam Young plays in New York. We saw him at the Ryder Cup. So this man is back in his home state. I think he has a great chance to come out victorious here. And, when we look at how he's played in big events this year, with the exception of the AT&T Signature event, Cam Young has been finishing big events this year. The Genesis, T7. Arnold Palmer, T3. The Players he won. The Masters, T3. Top 25 at the RBC Heritage. He won the Cadillac. Top 10 at the Truist. Top 25 at the PGA Championship. Unfortunately, at the Memorial, which is one of the hardest courses on tour, he got T46. But we see in these big tournaments, Cam Young shows up, man. And again, like I said earlier in my analysis, he has to avoid the bunkers because he's not really that good at sand saves. And you got to get that putter doing a little bit better, man. But Cam Young, when he plays in New York, as we saw at the Ryder Cup, this man dominates, bro. And that was his first time in the Ryder Cup, and he was locked in. So I like Cam Young here. Nate, who you got your third pick?
Dude, okay. I feel like my next 3 picks are low-key sleepers. But I'm going to go with Bobby Mack. And it's mainly because, I mean, like, he hasn't played that well this year. He got second at Valero, did okay at the Players.
This year.
On cuts, I know, right? On cuts. So this, but the thing is like he played so well at the U.S. Open last year.
He did. He did.
Well, but his putter was working. So, but it's like in the hardest putting challenge, why was your putter working there? But then this year, it's just like not. I don't know. I have no good reason to pick based off how he's done recently. But except for he did really well last year. We know he can putt. We know he can hit. So
I'm gonna just let y'all know. I'm gonna just let y'all know Nate might be being a bit biased because he's a lefty as well,
and because he's a freaking lefty. So honestly,
yeah, we'll see, man. That is for sure.
That's a stretch. That's a bit of a reach.
Yeah. The person I got, man, I mentioned before, is Tyrell Hatton, man. I feel like he is the best golfer on the live to come into the majors, man. Doesn't perform well at the PGA Championship. I'm repeating myself, but I'm just letting you know what my analysis is. But PGA Championship is well over now, so we're not worried about that, man. Got him a win at the last live event, which is good momentum going to the U.S. Open. He was obviously really, really close last year, man. Again, he played well. He led the live guys. Carlos Ortiz played well. Jon Rahm played well. But he has been the guy to represent live very well when it comes to the majors. I think he has a great opportunity to do so here. And this course isn't as tough as Oakmont. So to finish well at Oakmont and then come to Shinnecock, great opportunity for him to, reestablish himself as like, Tyrell Hatton can contend in majors, man. But let's get to our 2 dark horses.
Yeah, I think Tyrell Hatton pick is really good. But I don't know if this guy counts as I don't know if this guy counts as a dark horse. I feel like I should have flipped these 2. But the first dark horse I'm gonna go with Russell Henley.
Kind of is
because he's just not like a A-lister, but the game doesn't say like he does well in big moments. He had the playoff 2 weeks ago.
He Eric Cole.
Yeah,
Ice
took
Cole
down
in the playoff.
Took down Morikawa like last year and stuff like that. He hasn't done. He did poorly at the PGA Championship though. But he got T3 at the Masters.
At the Masters, yeah, he was like, people sleep on Russell Henley, bro.
I know, dude. It's like,
bro, was his official world golf like any like? Is he a
I don't know.
top 12 player?
5, dude. He's 5 in the world.
Yeah, he's kind. All right, bit of a reach here, but I'm gonna still say it. He's kind of like Hannah Green. Someone who wins tournaments, but we don't talk about them. And it's like, why? Because like Hannah Green is the number 5 player in the Rolex rankings. Russell Henley is the number 5 player in official world golf rankings, but we don't talk about them for some reason. I mean,
good comparison.
Hey dog, I'm just trying to say, bro. Russell, that's a good pick, bro. I respect that pick. My dark horse first one, and I'm sorry to all the golf haters, y'all might hate this pick, but I've been riding with this guy for a while. Give me Patrick Reed, man. I was thinking about going there too, bro. This is my thing about Patrick Reed because he hasn't, at least from my understanding, he hasn't been competing. I don't think he's playing the DP World Tour since March. But he keeps coming into these majors locked in, bro. Like he finished T12 at the Masters and finished T10 at the PGA Championship. So like, how are you staying competitive and sharp and still finishing well? I don't know what he's doing, but he's still coming into these tournaments in the majors and playing very, very well.
Just because he's been good, dude. That's why.
Yeah, and people just won't respect it. And I think the last time they played here at Shinnecock, I think he finished 4th in 2018. So Patrick Reed is someone, and I think people know. We just don't want to talk about it because obviously there's the stigma. He's a cheater, not well-liked guy. But like I said, I think I said this on an old podcast. Like, are we not willing to forgive Patrick Reed like we have for Bryson DeChambeau? Now, granted, Bryson DeChambeau wasn't a cheater or anything. However, Bryson DeChambeau was not liked at all for a long time. Yeah. And he got back in the good graces of the golf fans. Why can we not give Patrick Reed that same type of grace, man? And because he's been playing very well. And, like, even at the Masters, bro, he was up there the first 2 rounds. And then, unfortunately, Day 3 wasn't horrible, and none of his rounds were horrible, but like he just knocked himself out of contention. But he's been consistent, and like I say, it's just surprising because, like, is he just playing at his local, club and just staying ready there? Like how? Because you want to have a competitive, you want to compete before going to, and he just, from my standpoint, he has not been competing. He hasn't been playing on the DP World Tour since March, but keeps coming into each major, finishing. So again, T12 the Masters, T10 the PGA Championship. It's just crazy. I think I like Patrick Reed though. I think it's a solid dark horse pick.
Watch him just go to like state opens, and that's how he like tunes up like at a state open.
He goes to the state open. He said, "Hey, I know I'm going to win here, but like whoever gets second, just give it to them." That's probably what Patrick Reed.
Yeah. I don't need 20K because like state open's like 20K unless you go to Colorado.
Yeah, there it is.
All right, so my last dark horse, I was going to pick Patrick Reed, but I'm going to pick this guy instead. I have zero good reason to, but I'm going to go Victor Hovland. And it's because, it's really just because he's playing well this weekend. He's played well this weekend.
U.S. Open, too. He does do well.
And he did well at the U.S. Open. He was in J.J. Spahn's group. So he's witnessed greatness at U.S. Opens before. So now now it's his turn to be great. So...
Man, that will be one of the more random wins, but also expected because we know he has a game with the pedigree.
Yeah, he just has to win a major.
But his game doesn't show that it's trending towards that. So if he were to win, I'll be like, what just happened? But then it's like, we know that you should be a major winner. My last dark horse pick, and call me Mr. Incredible because I'm about to reach as well. Give me Alex Fitzpatrick. Yes, PGA Tour winner Alex Fitzpatrick. Because we keep talking about there's going to be a random winner at some point. Like I said,
there will. And I think he is a good pick because he's got game, dude.
He does. And like I said, a couple of our last bigger events, we saw some random names win. JT Poston wins the Memorial. Christopher Retton wins the Truist. Freaking Aaron Rai wins the PGA Championship. Why not Alex Fitzpatrick? And let's look at how Alex Fitzpatrick has been playing this year. At the Zurich, he obviously won. Got his PGA Tour card. Came at the Cadillac, another signature event. Got a T9. At the Truist, finished 4th. PGA Championship wasn't his best, debut for a major. He finished T75. However, we look at the Memorial as well, which is a very hard freaking course. He finishes T6. So he knows how to play in tough conditions. He knows how to play in these hard signature events. And I wonder if he's one of those guys that's like, well, there are not a lot of eyes on me, so I don't have the pressure to win a major. Like a Victor Hovland, like a Ludwig Oberg, where there's pressure. He's just like, I'm just happy to be here. So I'm just going to come out here and see if I can win the U.S. Open. And his game seems like it could possibly be headed towards a major. He could be one of those dark horses.
You're like, I feel like guys like Aaron Rai or even guys like J.J. Spahn, when they win, they kind of have these finishes that Alex Fitzpatrick's having. They just kind of get close to the top of the leaderboard.
J.J. Spahn never the players.
Yeah, but they never win, Mm-hmm. And dude, that is a great dark horse. Like, I hate it, but I like it. Like, it's kind of like that's a reach. That's for sure a reach. But I kind of like that.
Yeah. Is it Mr. No, not Mr. Incredible, or is it Mr. Fantastic? Whatever the dude name is who just his own. Yeah. That's what I was trying to go with. Next thing I want to talk about, man. Obviously, not so much breaking news on this podcast. However, Phil Mickelson accused of non-consensual, inappropriate contact with a female employee at his home course. Following the allegation, he is no longer a member of the club. Man, what were your reactions when you officially heard this news?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I've heard rumors about some of his behavior and stuff like that. And there's other rumors about he has the gambling stuff and all that stuff. Yeah. They're all rumors. And obviously people who know Phil, I don't want to start spreading false information on the internet.
Yeah. Cause it does.
Yeah, exactly. And people love us. So, but It does sound like Phil has some demons, and I really hope he works through it because I'm a huge fan of Lefty.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's some of this is starting to come to light. Some of the demons that he's kind of kept in his closet. And I know I hate to say it because I hate to say I wasn't surprised, but
I mean, I wasn't either. It sucks too for spiritual reasons too. Like Phil's going to have to learn how to choose his wife every day. He's going to have to learn to do that. And unfortunately, a lot of people continue to sin, and you kind of hope that people just learn to repent before they get caught. But now it's obviously brought into a bigger light. But yeah, Phil's going to have to learn how to choose his wife every day, and obviously he's going to have to repent from what he did and whatnot. So that's going to be a whole thing that's obviously strenuous, on his marriage. The thing that I do appreciate is that he didn't put golf before that, if that makes sense. He could have just kept on trying to play, and I could just handle this later. He stopped and tried to, I don't know if he's trying to fix his marriage or whatever that may be, but I'm happy he didn't pick golf over that. The other thing that does suck too is the reason why Michael Lasasso came to live was to learn under you. And you let that guy down. Michael Lasasso's probably going to listen to this, obviously. He might say Phil didn't let him down. Maybe Phil is still mentoring him to a degree, but your physical absence is not impacting him as much as it could. I think Phil's only played in 2 tournaments, which was Riyadh and I think the South African one. But, man, I think he's letting that kid down, man, because that was the reason why he chose to sign with the High Flyers. And hopefully this doesn't hinder Michael Lasasso's growth. I remember seeing a couple tweets about people saying, like, you wasted your time going there. And I don't know if he sees that stuff, but that would suck to hear, like, man, did I waste my time going here? Because the key reason, it's like recruiting. Like, hey, man, if you come to Nebraska, you're going to be playing with the number 2 quarterback in the draft. And you get there and he's like, yeah, I'm entering the portal. Or, I'm going to just declare right now. Then it's like, well, my sole reason to come here is because I want this great teammate. And
or like they got to show up late for meetings. That's kind of like Phil's just been to 2 meetings, if you will, And the crazy thing is he did play great when Phil was with him. Or he did play better.
At South Africa,
he played better.
He did.
So it's kind of like, if you're Jeremy Davis and you're going to go get recruited by Nebraska, and it's like, the quarterback's not going to show up for most of the season. Oh, he does show up for 2 games. You have 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Right. But then after that, it's like
he's gone.
Yeah, it's kind of like empty promises. I do feel bad. And it's like I don't want him to hear the noise from fans and then validate it because of what Phil's doing,
Yeah. But hopefully, like I said, hopefully Phil's, reconciling his marriage. Hopefully he's seeing counseling. Hope he's not doing what Mike Vrabel did. Mike Vrabel went to counseling for a weekend and said, I'm good, guys, and came back to coaching. Hopefully he's really trying to work on some of the vices that he's dealing with. But moving over to breaking news here, PGA Tour announced its partnership with the DP World Tour and the Australia Open. Nate, what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's great. Like, granted, I know like the PGA Tour doesn't want to step on DP World Tour's toes a lot by not playing a lot of events in Europe. But I think the Australia market is still open, and I think this is a good sign that the PGA Tour is learning from LIV. And they're, when people are like, what's so bad about LIV? LIV's dying. Like, there's nothing good to take from it. There's no redeeming qualities. It's like, yes, there is. This is one of those things. LIV definitely made them think more international. And I think going to Australia is going to be great for that market. We have a lot of good Australian players. Cam Smith.
Cam Smith, Minwoo Lee for Australian,
Minwoo Lee, Minwoo and Minjee Lee are Australian. So it's like, it'll definitely vamp up those fan bases. It'll give us more golfers from there too. So,
I think you make a great point because I have the same thing. Like, man, they are learning. If LIV does cease, they are learning what were the good qualities they brought. They brought amazing golf to places like South Africa, Australia, Hong Kong. And there's been numerous, talks about like, we need to take advantage of this market in Australia. And they're doing it. And I think they're going to do a co-sanction, kind of like what the LPGA did at the Shadow Creek having the LET. So then you get probably some of your favorite local golfers who are dominant on the DP World Tour that play there all the time, and some of your dominant PGA Tour players. The only thing I'm very curious about is like, what is the significance of the tour or whatever tournaments they have? Because like, I don't want it to be like, well, Sky's like, well, I'm not playing any of these tournaments, or Roy's like, I don't want to go over there.
Yeah, they don't want to travel. Like that's the thing is like it's taxing on the players. The stress is on the players.
Yes.
But if the PGA Tour is stupid with their schedules and try to put freaking signature events back to back, then it'll be a little easier to get the players to go to these things,
Right. And granted, remember when we looked at the schedule, there were certain dates they had and certain dates they didn't have. So I wonder if they're still trying to fix the back end or the front end of that schedule to get more tournaments there. But the last golf thing we got here is Live Golf 2.0 is what they're trying to call it. And here are some things that we actually know. First thing, they're trying to develop a new format. The schedule consists of 10 teams at 8 to 10 national opens with 5 team majors and 5 team signature events. The majors are to be played on 5 continents in line with the most successful events. Australia, where we saw Adelaide with Anthony Kim. South Africa, that crowd they had with Bryson DeChambeau. The UK, Hong Kong, and Mexico. And the signature events are to be hosted predominantly in the U.S. around the 4 championships. The money questions, purses are projected to be 10 to 15 million per event. Players take home reportedly in line with the PGA Tour. So you're still getting the same amount as the PGA Tour. The key detail is, though, players said they will walk if the purses drop to DP World Tour levels. Because at that point, I might just play DP, or I might just serve my suspension, get back on the PGA Tour. The player owner pitch, the players get equity in the league or their franchises. Most media rights return to the players. They can build their own brands and sign personal deals, which is a big shift from what the original model was. And lastly, the big question is, Bryson's all in, actually recruiting, investing, sitting in these meetings. Rahm is the wild card. He's distanced himself from those meetings, but he did say, I don't know business like that, so I don't think I should be involved in these meetings. And my actual last thing is, broadcasting-wise, Fox Sport reportedly said, I'm ready to re-up. We're ready to re-sign Liv, which is good news. I mean, then they got hybrid models like TV, YouTube, social media. So a lot of pieces are moving, but the big question is still the investors. Until that's locked up, everything is just a vision. Nate, what do you think about all that just came out?
Like, do they have the funding and stuff like that? Like, did they?
Well, it goes back to what you saw Scott O'Neil say. Like, if you invest here, you'll get a great return, which he was very vague. So I think there's still some hope. They might have some, but not enough to secure, a league for 2027. Maybe.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but I think it all sounds a bit desperate anytime Live people talk about anything. It's like, hey, the players, we'll do this for you. We'll let you do all these. You can make your own content. We'll let you use this as a platform. We'll give you a stake in our own company. We'll give you a stake in the teams. All these things. It sounds like a little bit of a desperation ploy to like try to stay alive, which it might pay off. It might pay off. They might stay alive. Fox Sports is already in. Like, that's a huge win for Liv.
Huge. That is huge.
If you have, like, Fox Sports is a major broadcasting network. So
yeah,
if they have that, I just don't know if like that they have, which I guess that will help getting funding, because it's like, hey, we're gonna get eyeballs on this. Like, we have the open slots. We have like the open broadcast spots. So. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds kind of desperate.
It does sound desperate. I mean, like I said, I enjoy watching Live because I just enjoy watching golf. There's nothing like watching golf in the morning, the LPGA, PGA, and then I get to watch golf at 8 p.m. I enjoy watching that, man. Obviously, we'll see how much money they can secure. The other question is, though, are they going to be able to actively like recruit like the next young hot star? Because if Liv was still hot, I wonder if Jackson Koepka would have took that opportunity to go there, because they were doing a really good job getting these young up-and-coming guys. But I guess with the instability of Liv, Jackson Koepka was probably like, I'm just go to the PGA Tour. Now, I don't know if that was a confrontation for him. I don't know if he was playing tug of war in his head, but that's just something we saw Liv and their model was always constantly doing. So let us know your thoughts in the comments about this new Liv model, this new Liv 2.0. But again, guys, like we always say, name this podcast Golf and Gospel Podcast. We got the gospel portion. Nate, I'll let you lead it off.
All right, dude. So this we're kind of going through our little sermon series. So
Yeah.
we're talking about what the gospel is. There's 4 components. It's God, man, Christ, and response. And this week we're going to talk about who Christ is. And how I'm going to start this is last week we talked about who man is. And that's the part of the gospel that's offensive because we're talking about you and your sin and your flaws. But God, being all good and all just, saw that and was like, I got to do something about that. And this is where the good news comes in. And the good news is Christ and who Jesus is. He's the guy that took on our sin. He took on the punishment that we're supposed to get. And now if we accept him into our hearts and let him take our punishment for us, we are made right in God. We are propitiated, as the scripture says. We are reconciled with Christ and we can be with him again forever. So that's kind of the main thing the portion of the gospel I was going to talk about. The other thing I wanted to say is Jesus came and died for everybody. And I think that should also change our attitudes to the people around us. And granted, I want us to not be too naive and too idealistic, but when we interact with people, I want us to treat people like Jesus died for that person. And that'll kind of change your posture with like how you deal with people on the road, in traffic, or if you deal with a customer or something like that, or whatever it is that makes you have a little bit less patience for that situation. That's someone that Jesus died for. And yeah, that's kind of my ramblings. What are your thoughts, Jeremy?
I love that, bro. I think going back to Matthew 22, 37, 39, Jesus talks to, I don't know if he talks to the Pharisees or his disciples, but he's talking to the audience. And he says, man, these are the 2 most important commandments, to love your God with all your mind, all your heart, and all your soul. Then he says the second is like the first, to love your neighbor as yourself. So we see that there's an equality in how we should be loving our God with all our heart, all our minds, all our soul, in the same way we should love our neighbor. So I'm backing you up in regards to you saying, like, man, we should be treating people like Christ died for them too. And I want people to understand, like, that, man, his grace is for everybody. I love what it says in Titus 2:11. It says, for the grace of God has appeared, bringing salvation for all people. It's not just secluded to, like, Americans or just secluded to this person or this person.
Like the Jewish people, right? Like
it's not. Yeah, it's available to the Gentile as well. And we so desperately want you guys to come and know that, because just like Nate said, like, Christ died for you as well. And I want to treat you like he died for you. And my pastor, I remember saying this before, and I always steal this quote for him. It's like, man, we need to learn how to care about the destination of our neighbor's soul. And we need to learn to have the boldness to share the good news, who Jesus Christ is, and that the confession and belief in him gives you a place for where your soul is going to be in eternity. Because I know for a lot of us, maybe not everybody, but for a lot of us, sin is exhausting, and we want that burden taken away from us. And Christ has taken that burden on the cross and took it upon himself and died for you. So you don't have to carry that weight anymore. So, man, we just thank you guys again for listening to the Golf and Gospel podcast. We both got to get to dinner, but I think we talked about some good stuff, man. Let us know your thoughts about this Live 2.0. Let us know about your thoughts on the U.S. Open. Let us know your thoughts on the LPGA and everything else that was explained today. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.